Okay, so I'm gonna get straight to the point. They said it was some people that was practicing some kind of kingdom religion where a girl would say that she's a princess, or they would say that she's a princess, and that in order for her to be a queen, she would have to marry the king. They said the king would be her dad, and that she would have sex with her own dad, and she would get married to her own dad. I'm not part of those types of religions, and I'm not judging them. I'm just saying that I'm not part of those religions. When a girl says that her dad is a king and she wants to be a queen and she's a princess, and in order to be a queen, she gets married and has sex with her own dad in order to be his queen because she is a princess. No, I'm not part of those religions, and I'm not judging them. I'm just saying I'm not part of those religions. And it's the same way, for the boys. They said the boys was practicing the same religion. They were saying that they were a prince. And in order to be a king, they would have sex with their own mom. And they called their mom a queen. And in order to be a king, they would get married to their own mom and be her husband and be a king. Because in order to be a king, you would be married to the queen. But if you were the queen's son and she was your mom and you were a prince, in order to be a king, you would have to be your own mom's husband, your own mother's husband. I'm not part of those religions. I don't want my father's wife because my father's wife is my father's wife. And I don't want my mother's husband because my mother's husband is my mother's husband. And I don't steal people's husband from them. And I don't steal people's wife from them. Different people, seem like they use the name April Williams. And I don't know if they was supposed to be girls or boys or what gender they was. But if you were someone else's husband and you were someone else's wife and you participated in sexual activity with me, full blown sex, and you took advantage of me, people say that you are wrong for what you did, It doesn't matter who you are. Because I'm not part of those religions. So, once again, they say when a person say he's a prince and his mom and dad is a king and a queen, in order for the prince to be a king, he has to marry the queen and it's his own mom. I'm not part of those religions. When they say if a girl is a princess and she says her mom and dad is the king and queen, and in order for her to be the queen, she would have to marry the king, and a daughter married her own dad and became his wife in order to be his queen. I'm not part of those religions. So no, not me, If there's a girl or a guy that claims that they are the king and the queen, it's not my husband and it's not my wife. Those religions. And if there's a girl or a guy that claims that they're the princess or the prince of those types of religions where you have sex with your own mom and dad to become a king or a queen, I'm not part of those religions. So, those situations that's been going on, I don't know how many different people, whether they was boys or girls, men or women, what gender they was, that used the name April Williams. Because, you know, it was this movie called Child's Play. And I don't know if everybody's seen it, because I know I see everybody's seen it, but it's just me saying words, you know. Like, it doesn't mean everybody's seen it. It's just a lot of people seen it, you know. It was like, it was a boy named Andy, and it was a dude named Charles Lee Ray. And he was trying to get inside of the little boy's body. Somebody said, what if a girl did that? What if a girl got inside a boy's body, or a boy got inside a girl's body and they had sex with somebody? I feel like it's what they did to me. Because where would they get those ideas from? It was not my idea. I didn't make the movies Child's Play. Someone already had those ideas of getting inside of other people's body. Whether it was a grown man trying to get inside a child's body, a little boy, or whether it was a grown lady trying to get inside of a child's body, a little boy. You know, I'm not sure of what people did, but I feel like I was molested by different people, you know, and I don't like it, you know. So, you know, this video is for my wife. I'm not sure what your name is, you know, and people told me, don't worry about the name. Since I believe in God, believing in God, it's all about the marriage. Make sure that the whole world knows that I believe in God. I believe in marriage. If my wife is a person who I never had sex with, and other people was using the name April Williams in a body and was building a family and had their own plan, family planning that they was doing the whole time, it was just a waste of my time because I didn't want to do any of that stuff that they did. And whoever my wife is, or that she was supposed to be, you know, I'm still here for you. You know, I don't care about what the other people did, because from 2004, possibly before 2004, and all of these years later, what a waste of time, you know. But I didn't give up on my faith, because they say your marriage is your faith and your marriage is your truth. It's the way that it was explained to me, you know. So all the times I went to jail, all the times I got locked up, you know, all of this stuff, somebody tried to make me a fighter and a family man and a dad and a father. And it was not my job, you know. And people said, but I did good. 3 pregnancies, 3 childbirths, a childbirth August 2004, a childbirth July 2006, a childbirth October 2008. And I was there the whole time, you know, and I didn't cause the mom of those situations to have a miscarriage. And it wasn't another person, you know, during the pregnancy of those times in the house with me, not with me, you know, the person that was there, I'm not sure who she was. She was the mom of the children, I assume, you know. Was she my wife? Was it marriage fraud? Was she a hyena claiming she was teaching me how to have sex? Or was she one of those queens or those princesses that was doing it for her dad because they wanted to build a family and they wanted to build a kingdom, and they have their children and their family and their kingdom, and I'm sitting here wondering, where is my wife? They got what they wanted. So, where's my wife? This video is for my wife. I was used as a sex slave, is what it seems like. Sex slavery. Someone used me during 3 pregnancies that someone else wanted because they wanted a family. They used me as a driver. They used me as a lawyer in the courtroom. They used me as a child activist. I actually went to jail for contempt of court sometime between 2005, 2006, or 2007. It was before Trinity was born in 2008. Trinity was born in 2008. So since she wasn't born yet, when I went to jail for contempt of court, it was in the year of 2007, 2006, or 2005. Ever since I was a child, I was given drugs and pills. They call them psychiatric drugs. They used to get them from the drugstore. I was being molested and abused and used, and I still don't understand. Because when I was told I had children, whether they were mine or not, I never gave them any psychiatric drugs or pills from the drugstore. And I never taught anyone how to have sex. I never said, you know, any of those types of, I never authorized any of those situations. And when a person did say that legally children were my children, I never authorized any of those medical forms for anyone to give them drugs. So someone broke the law a lot, because where would they have ever got the authorization from to give children drugs if they say they were my children and I never authorized any of those forms? Parental rights against the law to give children drugs, psychiatric drugs, if I was told that I am the dad and I never approved of it. Those doctor visits, you know. So, since I'm not a person of the court, whether it's a family court or any of that, being married, they say you have a marriage license. Having a family, there's no such thing as a family license, you know. So in those situations, this video is for my wife. Wife, I'm not sure of the name and I'm not sure of the image, but I'm crazy. I'm not a killer. I'm not a murderer. Because whenever someone that used the name April Williams or the identity of April Williams and they said it was my wife, did stuff that I don't like, I never pulled a gun on her. Other guys pulled guns on people that they said were their wife, is what the TV says, and it's what other people said, in those families. They said when I was at those houses, he was there because he had a piece of paper saying that he was married to Linda Williams' daughter, and he thought he was at his mother-in-law's house. He was never there having sex with the other children or the other people or any of that stuff. The only sex abuse, that, is very weird that I didn't understand is that what if he was there having sex with a person that was saying her name was April Williams, but she was not really his wife? People say it's not my fault because I wasn't told that she's not my wife and that she was someone using another person's name and identity. And since they said my wife is crazy, is what people said, that she's a mental health patient, I never understood if she was playing or if she was just joking or if she was just saying crazy stuff, being a crazy person. So it was never really a way for me to actually know, are you serious or are you just playing games? Is you just saying this stuff to mess with my head or is it because you crazy? So, having a marriage license and being told that you're crazy and your wife is crazy, how would I know when she was telling the truth or not? And that's why I don't really understand, because they said she might say anything. And since I keep saying a person that I thought was my wife, or I think they were like, they can't get me to blame my wife for something that another person may have done, you know. And it's crazy, you know. So, you know, someone does not like my wife, you know. They did not want me being with my wife. But who is they? They are not my wife. It's not their choice, you know. So it's crazy, you know. So it was like, you know, one of the people said, you know, one of the people seemed like a child molester because they're addicted to children and have to be around children. I don't really understand it, you know. But for my wife, you know, it's all about God, right? It was like the name or the